Good evening, and thank you for coming to the Hauppauge School Board meeting for March 12th, 2024. Let's stand up and pledge the flag. I want to thank 888-1606-231.
In honor of Women's History Month and in celebration of National Girl Scout Week, we would like to lead the Hauppauge community in the Pledge of Allegiance today.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much.
And before we take a picture, I just wanted to add, there's 1.7 million Girl Scouts in the United States who celebrate Girl Scout Week each March. Because the Girl Scouts were started on March 12, 1912, and there are over 200 Girl Scouts in the Hauppauge School District spread through each of our 5 schools, and we're so happy to have some of those Scouts here tonight. So thank you for the pledge, and Mr. George, maybe we can do a picture now with the Scouts.
Great, ladies, you did great. You guys need to
Goes under the middle school yearbook.
Perfect.
Oh, great.
Thank you all. Thank you, ladies, very much. Thank you very much. Agenda number 4, Superintendent's update. Dr. Murphy.
Sure, and then maybe after my update, we'll take a minute break just in case Scouts have to go home and do homework or something. First, proud to announce the high school class of 2024 valedictorian, Mahika Grandi, and salutatorian, Israel Rojas. 2 tremendous students. I had the pleasure of attending a breakfast recently where members of the administrative team were with these 2 students who were learning of their status at that time, and there were also 23 seniors in attendance who were recognized for achieving a 100+ GPA. So congratulations to all of those students. Congratulations also to the high school kickline team, national champions, which is just tremendous. They took first place for their high kick performance the weekend of March 2nd at the Contest of Champions National Dance Competition in Orlando. This is the first time that the kickline has won the title of national champion, and the girls and their coaches, Anna Goodfellow and coach and choreographer Cynthia Gingo, have worked extremely hard over the years to get to this point, clearly. And we're so thrilled to be bringing the championship trophy home to Hauppauge. So tremendous job to that group. Next, 8 middle school students recently participated in the Thermo Fisher Scientific Junior Innovators Challenge. That was on March 5th. 3 of those students earned first place. They are Mahir Satish Kumar, Weibawi Hegde, and Atharv Prabhu. So congratulations to those students. And then lastly, our middle school science Olympiad team, they recently competed at the Eastern Long Island Regional Competition, where they medaled in 10 of the 18 events. and they placed 10th place overall out of 32 teams. So congratulations to the Science Olympiad team at the middle school. Thank you, Mr. Scarito.
Thank you, Dr. Murphy. 5A, recognition and awards. I don't think we have anything on the agenda tonight. I do want to reach out once again to all the parents and also teachers. We also have to give them all the thanks too. It's very impressive driving by the scoreboard on Town Line Road and seeing so many children students have done really well. Wonderful, fantastic. 5B, we have a presentation by Mrs. Sienna. Thank you.
Good evening. So tonight is our second budget presentation for the 24-25 school year. Tonight's presentation, the focus is revenues. This funding snapshot is the same that we saw 2 weeks ago. The only difference is that I'm giving you the percent of the budget that each of the revenue sources are. So for the tax levy, that is the largest source of revenue for Hauppauge at 73%. State aid is the next largest at 15%. Third is pilots or payments in lieu of taxes, which is 5%. Other we'll get to in 2 slides from now, which is 3%. Reserves and fund balance together at 4%. For the grand total of the budget at 133, 216, 224. School districts have to produce a balanced budget, which means the revenues have to meet and match the expenditures. So we do that here. The expenditure side is 133, 216, 224. So looking at the tax levy limit, the way that you do this, you start with where you're at, because how do you know where you're going? You gotta know where you're currently at. So by your tax levy, you multiply by your tax base growth factor. That comes in January for school districts from the Office of Real Property Tax Services. You add in your prior year pilots. You subtract out your prior year exemptions or your capital levy. That consists of your debt service and building aid. You multiply by your allowable levy growth factor. That comes from the Office of the State Comptroller. That's also available in January. Subtract out your projected pilots. Add in any available carryover, which we do not have. Then you get to your tax levy limit before exclusions. You add in that capital levy share, which is your debt service and building aid, and then arrive to your tax levy limit for the coming year. For Hauppauge is a levy-to-levy increase of 3.3%. Next largest source, looking at state aid. So hundreds of data points go into state aid. Other than that, school district wealth. So any district that is above 1, closer to 2, will get less in state aid as they're deemed as less in need. School districts that are below 1 or closer to 0 or at 0 will receive more in state aid because they are deemed as more in need. Other drivers, needs of students and student demographics. And then to the right, your state aid categories. So the largest source is foundation aid at 12.9 million. Next is expense-driven aid, so that's BOCES, that's special aid, special education, that's transportation at 7.5 million. Then your enrollment-driven aids, so that is textbook and software at 276K. And then universal pre-K, which is flat or the same as it is for this current year at 988,000. So there's no difference in that funding source as far as state aid in the eyes of the state for where we're currently at. Looking at the other, so other is interest banking. That is the largest increase that we've seen in the other section. The reason for that is in the 2021 school year, we saw interest rates at about 1.12%. And in the year since, right now where we're currently at, we're seeing upwards of 5%. So that is the largest swing there. Next is tuition and health services. So that's other districts coming and sending their students to Hauppauge, providing us with tuition. We're saying that that is flat to the current year. Building rentals, so that is for Whippoorwill, that is for the swim program, that is also for the scope program. And then miscellaneous, which is CPSE excess costs. So Medicaid, any sort of reimbursement, be it entity or other self-insurance recoveries, and then refund of prior year BOCES as well, for a total of 3.7 there as far as other. Two other things that Hauppauge has historically used for reserves and fund balance, these are two measures to offset the burden to the taxpayer. So reserves, why they're important, ability to maintain a stable tax levy, and then your employee benefits and your employee retirement system. Those are the two reserves that we utilize here at Hauppauge. employee retirement system fluctuates in costs year over year, and allowing to utilize these guards against fluctuations in those costs. Then finally, fund balance. If you're on the bond subcommittee or in bond land, you'll recognize this young gentleman. So fund balance, why it's important, the more fund balance you have, it's a great measure of school district's financial condition. It allows you to reduce the borrowing and interest costs, and it improves your credit rating. And then appropriated fund balance is also, again, another measure to lower the tax levy. So that is tonight's cap on revenue. So where we go from now, March 26th will be budget workshop number 3, curriculum, instruction, health and safety. April 16th, budget adoption, and then April 30th, budget hearing, and ultimately May 21st is the annual budget vote and school election.
Thank you, Mrs. Young. Do any board members have any questions for this presentation? Is anyone? Welcome to the
The state aid,
Sure.
we have averages of like full animal, so what we got compared to others, the state academy.
I could get to that.
Yeah.
I could get to that. Sure.
Where do we stand?
Yeah, I'll pop in. Go.
Any other questions from you?
Are you anticipating any more money coming from the state and maybe the next week or two?
We would love for that to happen, but I'm not really one for speculating, but I would love that.
The Assembly and the Senate have made additional proposals, so we'll see, where that conversation goes.
We're a part of that.
Yeah, clearly, we wouldn't have anything less, but they're talking about helping the districts that came out with less aid than last year, and we were fortunate in round 1 to not be in that category, but we're hoping that maybe there's a little more for us as well, so to be
Appreciate it.
continued.
Thank you.
Any other board members? Any community members?
The state aid drive you were talking about, what other, even more details, why like one district gets more aid than the other?
So,
Is it, just so you know, is it built on our, like, the wealth of the
yes,
district?
it is, yes, which is both property and the wealth of the district as well. So anything that hovers above 1, we're just above 1 for combined wealth ratio, which is why we only receive 20 million. There's other districts that can receive 100 million worth of aid, but you'll see that they're not at 1.3 for combined wealth ratio. They're closer to 0, which gets them more in state aid.
And is that based on like the property values?
Yes,
Just based
and
on
income.
that? Not, and
Of the school district, yes.
it's not based on our books, like.
No, it's not based on the school district. It's about all the houses and homes within Hauppauge. Yes. Yeah, you're welcome.
Just on this, do we have any questions that are coming online that should be aware of? Just to make sure.
No.
If that option even still exists.
No, once we came over.
Make sure. Mrs. Young, thank you very much. We appreciate you going above and beyond.
Thank you, Ms. Sienna.
Lori, on 5C, that back to the next meeting. Number 6, any questions or comments for tonight's agenda only? Do any community members have any questions? We have a consent agenda, 7.1 through 7.4. Are there any board members that have anything you want to say? No? Okay. Any motion, Dr. Craft? Salvation, second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Eight policies. Committee reports, we'll wait next time we have both board members available. Number 10 is discussion matters. Any discussion matters? Anybody on the board? Okay.
Oh, the board? Yeah, I was just going to say nothing new from administration at this time.
Number 11, new business. Do we have any new business? Number 12, questions and comments from the community. Mrs. Sanger.
I have just a quick question. I understand there was an announcement in the middle school. I was able to find it online. It's a very long report regarding the drinking water at the middle school, that some of the fountains are not safe to drink from. I think from what I gathered from the report that they've been turned off,
It's a great question. I did.
but I didn't see a notice come home about that.
There was a.
Yes, so this is testing that we do every couple of years. We're mandated by the state and the Department of Health. So it's nothing new, it's nothing strange. Testing how many that comes in, the firm that comes in to test our water, so that for many school districts throughout Long Island, of let's say 100 school districts, where the same level that anyone else would have received. So for any results that happen, what we do if it fails, and failure, I'm careful with that word because the action level that's deemed as failure for a New York State school district, K through 12, is different than the Suffolk County Water Authority. So the Suffolk County Water Authority is 15 parts per billion, but the threshold for K to 12 school districts in New York is 5 parts per billion. So this is an action that changed in the last year or so. The way that we remediate is we can change the filter, we can change the faucet, then the company comes in to retest. When they come in to test, we test initially or retest. They're making sure that the water is stagnant for 8 hours before they turn the faucet on, collect the water, and take that water sample. So that water sample is always going to be higher. If you were to put a cup of water directly underneath the sample that is tested, that water you would find would be under 5 parts per billion. So it's just a qualifier in the testing. So as we come and we remediate, there will be parts of the report that will be replaced and then added as such to that. So we're confident that 100% will be, or as close to 100% as possible would be remediated and then put back online.
Do we know what percentage of our drinking fountains failed as compared to other? I mean, again, you're the district, there's going to be lead, and I think we're all aware of that. But the percentage of our fountains had to be turned off due to failure, or for whatever reason, for remediation, how do we compare to other districts of similar, like, size and age?
Sure. I don't have the percentages off the top of my head. If I had this, I would have absolutely been prepared for that. But when we met with the company, JC Broderick, we met with one of the partners there, and it was myself, it was Joe Tasman, and the director of facilities. And he was really informative and really helpful, and also showed us where we stack and compare against other school districts. It's not a competition, obviously, but we'd like to see that we're doing well and that we're,
Do they give us
getting
an
similar
action-
levels.
Do they give us an actual action plan?
Yeah, so you remediate.
Okay.
And once you remediate, they come back in, they retest, and then everything will, pass. Depending, so it's potable water. It's anything that you're going to drink. It's not anything, that you're
And
not
the
going
last,
to.
sorry to interrupt, the
Yeah.
last time the district went through this was 2020, right?
Correct.
And those results are on the website as
Yes.
well, right? So we can plan on going through this again in another few years, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes?
Your question is how we compare to other districts. Ms. Sienna will look into that and get back to you.
Yes.
His initial reaction to us was that we were not out of line with his other testing of the districts, very similar across the board for his testing.
And we welcome any questions. If there's anything specific on the report that you'd like to go through, you can give me a call, you can give the director of facilities a call, and we'd be more than welcome to, or willing, not welcome, to answer any questions.
Before we take a motion to go to adjourn, is there any executive session?
No, there's no need to go back to executive.
I just want to remind all community members for Hauppauge, the spaghetti dinner, an evening of fine food for the annual senior citizen recognition dinner, Wednesday, April 17th. I believe that is at 6 o'clock at high school. Is that right?
Yes.
That's all right.
Yes, it's, right? Yep.
Okay, fantastic. Can I get a motion? Mr. Savia, Mr. Crowley, is the second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you all for coming and attending. Next budget committee meeting will be Tuesday, March 26th, 2024. God bless the high school.
Thank you. Have a good night.